This is Catherine, otherwise known as Kerr Avenson. So, I'm going to do some pouring. Yay! And I have set up a new platform for my photo paper. This is corrugated plastic, cut. I actually searched around trying to find corrugated plastic that I'd seen people like Peter Brown use for his molds. I couldn't find any, except in the form of an archive box. So this is an archive box that gave its life in the service of my painting. So I have stuck the photo paper, which is Kodak Ultra Premium photo paper, with masking tape on the inside. You can't really see it very well, but it's basically folded back. You can sort of see that there. And with push pins in the corners so that it is off the surface, but I don't have to worry about moving little cups and having things fall over. And so that I don't prick myself on the push pins, which are quite sharp, I have put little squares of thick foam in the corners. Now you may be wondering why there is the word stop here. That is because I am setting myself a new challenge, the stop challenge, which is basically, after watching my previous videos, there were a number of places where I was saying, stop, you should have stopped there. So the stop challenge is stop as soon as possible. So that is a challenge. I'm also more organized in that I have made a list in a notebook. Look, so yes, pour styles and colours. So the first on the list of the colours is black, greens, yellows. Heavy green, that's what it's saying. And that is basically, the last time I did a pour with the blacks, greens, yellows, the black took over. My thought, after someone pointed out that carbon black has a tendency to float to the surface, that I would do it with Mars black only and no carbon black, and see how that goes. So we have, in order of heaviness, green oxide, cadmium yellow, light, Mars black, yeah, I'm going over the stop sign, fine, yellow oxide, and phthalo green. So those are the colours. These are still mixed with my usual mix, which is 1 part paint to 1 part medium, and the paint is all, apart from the Mars black, which is Liquitex Basics, they are all Sonja's paints with Sonja Flow Medium. The Mars Black has got the same medium. And a bit of water. Not as much water as last time. I basically added more paint and more medium to my existing bottles. Hopefully that has thickened it up a bit. So those are the colours. And why did I say in order of heaviness? Well, no, I'll say that now. Right. This is fluid art, and the paint is thinned down, and I want it to flow. But every paint contains pigments, right? These are paints, not dyes. Dyes have the colour dissolved in the liquid. Paints have larger colour molecules, and they're too big to dissolve in the water. So they have different densities depending on the pigment. Also depending on what else goes in the paint, because it's not just pigment and water. I mean, I assume there's some water in there somewhere, but all these chemicals that have to bind them and make them stick to surfaces and so on that make up paint. So because this paint has been thinned so that it is liquid, then the density comes into play a lot more, because when you're painting, you're just brushing it on, right? And it's just sitting there. When you're doing fluid art, it's liquid, it's floating and moving and sinking and rising. And when you think sinking and rising, then the density is important. Now, some people do fluid art without worrying about the density. That's fine. The density will still affect their art, but they do it a different way, so that they get the effects they want by mixing oil with the paint. And since oil always floats on water, then the movement is speeded up by the oil. So, but I'm not doing that. So this is a coffee cup, and this is going to be a coffee cup pour, which is a variation on a dirty pour. And a dirty pour is called dirty because you're mixing the paints up in one vessel, in this case the coffee cup. Now normally with a dirty pour, you pour your paints in and then you just pour it over the canvas. With a coffee cup pour, who I must credit this to Tracy Henry. I will put a link to the particular video below. Who you put the lid of a coffee cup on your cup. Well, I won't do that until I've filled it with stuff. And that will force the paint to go through this little hole, which will sort of cause turbulence and interesting things. So, normally if I do a flip cup, I would put the densest paint in first and so on, because with a flip cup you're then flipping it upside down. But with a pour, you're not flipping it upside down, but they are sort of not all necessarily coming out in the same order. So I don't know what the best order is, whether one should put the heaviest first or the lightest first. So what I think I'll do is I will put the heaviest first, and then I will do it all again in the same order. So Mars Black, I just put in green oxide, cadmium yellow before, and then yellow oxide, and phthalo green is the lightest. And then we do it again with green oxide, cadmium yellow light, Mars Black, yellow oxide, and phthalo green. So let me just put the lids back on and get them out of the way. So we put the coffee cup lid on and we get our painting surface and we pour. And I'm doing it in a stripy stripe because I don't usually do it in a stripy stripe. Okay. This one is definitely thicker. Come on, fill that in. And go over the edge. And it's a bit more useful. I think I'm going to pour on the edge. Not quite enough paint, you see. Right. So I am supposed to stop there, though I am allowed to touch it up and to pop bubbles with my butane torch. What? Butane torch? That's this deadly thing. I shall try not to melt my surface. Right, so that is where I stop. Still doing a coffee cup, but this time I think I will swirl. Using up all the rest of the paint. That's definitely very stripy. Last bit. Sorry if my hand is in the way. I know I'm not transparent like, I've forgotten what the character's name was. The transparent lady. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this more than the stripes. Note to self, I like this more than stripes. Putting some on the corners in the hope that either it will cover or it will help the paint move. And going back again. Yes, I am being more conscientious in trying to cover the whole surface, partly because since the tape is on the underside, I actually can cover the whole surface. So stop where you are. Stop in the name of the law. And torch this one. I wear gloves and I'm still getting messy. Well, of course, that's why I'm wearing gloves. Duh. Yeah, see, there's the little bubbles popping. I can see them popping. Then I start getting the microcells. There seems to be a lump or something. No, maybe it's not a lump. Okay,